Most people don't realize this. Your second brain isn't in your head, it's in your gut. And right now, it's quietly shaping your energy, your focus, your immunity, your mood, even the quality of your thoughts. If you feel tired all the time, anxious for no reason, bloated after meals, or just out of sync with yourself, it's not just stress, it's not just age, it's your gut trying to tell you something. And the truth? We've been ignoring that voice for far too long. Your gut is far more than just a digestive organ. It's one of the most intelligent and influential systems in your entire body. In fact, it's often referred to as your second brain. And that's not just a metaphor, it's backed by hard science. Inside your gut lies the enteric nervous system, a vast network of over 100 million neurons, more than your spinal cord. This system operates independently of your brain and is deeply involved in everything from digestion to emotion. That uneasy feeling you get when you're anxious, that's not just a mental response. It's your gut reacting. That mental fog after a heavy meal? Again, your gut is at the center of that story. The gut and the brain are constantly communicating through a two-way channel called the gut-brain axis. It's like a private hotline between your digestive system and your central nervous system. And this dialogue shapes everything from how you sleep to how you think, how you respond to stress, and even how happy or depressed you feel. About 90% of the body's serotonin, the neurotransmitter most associated with mood, calm, and emotional regulation, is produced in the gut, not the brain. When your gut is inflamed, irritated, or imbalanced, it directly impacts your brain function. This is why so many people struggling with anxiety, depression, lack of focus, or chronic fatigue often don't realize the issue isn't in their head, it's in their gut. We've been trained to separate physical health from mental health, but in reality, they are inseparable. A sluggish gut leads to a sluggish brain. An inflamed gut leads to an inflamed mind. A nourished gut supports clarity, vitality, peace, and resilience. It's not just about what you eat. It's about what you absorb, how well your microbiome is functioning, and whether your gut is being treated like the vital organ it truly is. The microbiome, the ecosystem of bacteria living in your intestines, is a key player in this equation. These microbes outnumber human cells in your body, and they are essential to immune function, metabolic health, and emotional balance. When your microbiome is diverse and balanced, it acts like a supportive community, producing nutrients, fending off pathogens, and even synthesizing important brain chemicals. But when it's disrupted by processed foods, antibiotics, poor sleep, and chronic stress, it becomes chaotic, inflamed, and toxic. And you feel it. You feel it in the form of brain fog, skin breakouts, autoimmune flare-ups, and burnout that coffee can't fix. This is why gut healing is not optional if you want to perform at your highest level. It's foundational. Your gut sets the tone for everything else. It determines whether your body can efficiently extract nutrients from your food. It determines whether your immune system is overreactive or balanced. It determines whether you can stay calm under pressure or spiral into panic. The gut isn't just about digestion, it's your emotional, physical, and cognitive baseline. And the best part, you can change it. The gut regenerates quickly when given the right environment. Within days of shifting your diet, improving your sleep, and lowering stress, people report feeling clearer, calmer, and more energized. It's not magic, it's biology responding to care. When you start prioritizing your gut, you start transforming from the inside out. The vitality, the clarity, the confidence you've been chasing, it starts here, not in a pill, not in a supplement, but in the relationship you build with the system that feeds and fuels everything else. To ignore the gut is to ignore your greatest ally in health and performance. To nurture it is to unlock a version of yourself that thinks sharper, feels stronger, and lives more fully. Your gut is your second brain, and it's time to treat it like one. The body has an incredible intelligence, and it's always communicating with you. The trouble is, we've learned to silence it. We call discomfort an inconvenience. We reach for painkillers when something hurts. We drink coffee when we're exhausted. We numb ourselves with food, with screens, with distraction. But those subtle symptoms you keep brushing off, the bloating after meals, the unpredictable moods, the persistent fatigue, the brain fog, the skin flare-ups. These are not random glitches. They are signals. Your body isn't betraying you. It's begging for your attention. Every symptom is a message. It's the language your body uses to tell you something is off, something is inflamed, something is overloaded or undersupported. But in our fast-paced world, we're taught to disconnect. We think healing means silencing symptoms instead of decoding them. So we reach for antacids instead of asking why our stomach is constantly in distress. We accept poor sleep as normal. We label emotional instability as just a phase. But underneath all of it, there's a system that's been out of balance for too long. And for many people, that system is the gut. Your gut is the control center for so much more than digestion. It impacts your mood, your immune function, your energy levels, your skin, your hormonal balance, even your capacity to focus and stay resilient under pressure. So when something starts to go wrong in the gut, when the microbiome becomes imbalanced, when inflammation takes it over, when the gut lining becomes compromised, it sends distress signals. Not through a red warning light, but through physical and emotional symptoms. And if we keep ignoring those symptoms, they get louder. What starts as mild discomfort turns into chronic pain. What begins as occasional fatigue turns into burnout. What looks like anxiety is often the result of a gut so inflamed it can't regulate neurotransmitter production. We've normalized dysfunction. It's become normal to rely on coffee just to get through the day. Normal to feel heavy and tired after eating. Normal to cycle through moods and blame it on stress or age. But none of this is normal. It's common. And the more we normalize these signals, the further we drift from our true health. Healing doesn't begin when you suppress symptoms. It begins when you respect them, when you stop seeing them as annoyances and start seeing them as invitations. Your body isn't punishing you, it's protecting you. It's protecting you. It's doing its best with the tools you give it. And when something's not working, it lets you know. That's not failure. That's wisdom. Healing the gut requires a shift in how you interpret your body's messages. It means asking deeper questions when discomfort arises. What did I eat that might have triggered this? Am I getting enough sleep? Am I carrying stress I haven't processed? Have I been kind or careless with my nourishment lately? This kind of reflection is powerful because it empowers you to respond instead of react. And with every conscious response, you begin to rebuild trust between your body and your mind. That trust is everything, because once you start listening, really listening, you begin to recognize patterns. You start catching imbalances early. You start realizing that healing isn't some external destination. It's the result of consistently honoring the signals within. Your gut isn't just asking for cleaner food, it's asking for awareness. And every time you pause, pay attention, and respond with care, you're not just easing symptoms. You're laying a foundation of resilience, clarity, and long-term vitality. Symptoms are not your enemy. They're the doorway to healing. When you shift from frustration to curiosity, from suppression to exploration, everything changes. Your body doesn't need to be silenced, it needs to be supported. And when you begin to do that, you don't just feel better, you come alive. Food is not just something we eat to satisfy hunger or fill a plate. Food is information. Every single bite we take carries a message. It communicates with our cells, our genes, our microbiome, and our brain. It either contributes to healing or it contributes to harm. That's the reality most people overlook in a world dominated by convenience, ultra-processed meals, and quick fixes. What we eat is programming our biology in real time. It's shaping the strength of our immune system, the clarity of our thinking, the stability of our mood, and the efficiency of our metabolism. Food is not neutral. It is one of the most powerful levers we have for transformation. When we eat nutrient-dense whole foods, foods that come from the earth in their original form, we send our body the message that we are safe, nourished, and supported. These foods are rich in vitamins, minerals, fiber, antioxidants, and phytochemicals that the gut microbiome thrives on. In turn, a thriving gut microbiome produces short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation, enhance immunity, and improve brain function. It's a chain reaction. One supportive choice leads to a cascade of healing outcomes. That's how powerful food is. It's not just about calories, it's about chemistry. On the flip side, processed foods are chaos disguised as convenience. The additives, preservatives, artificial sweeteners, refined sugars, and industrial oils found in modern packaged foods send very different messages to the body. different messages to the body. They disrupt the gut barrier, trigger immune responses, feed harmful bacteria, and deplete the natural intelligence of the gut. Over time, this creates inflammation that doesn't just stay in the gut, it travels. It affects your joints, your skin, your brain, your hormones. It shows up as anxiety, acne, headaches, weight gain, fatigue. And yet, so many people never trace it back to their plate. We've been conditioned to separate our food choices from how we feel, as though the two live in different realities. But the truth is, the food we consume either reinforces balance or throws us further into imbalance. You can't out-supplement a bad diet. You can't rely on willpower alone if you're constantly feeding your body messages of distress. Healing starts when you upgrade the quality of the information you're giving your body every day. Start with real food, vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts, seeds, clean proteins, and healthy fats. Not because a diet tells you to, but because these are the foods your body recognizes. These are the inputs your gut is designed to receive. Every color in a vegetable or fruit offers different antioxidants. Every fiber-rich food feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Every natural fat supports your brain and your hormones. There's no magic pill that can replace the healing intelligence already present in nature's pharmacy. But healing is not about restriction. It's not about moralizing food as good or bad. It's about becoming conscious. It's about understanding that your plate is a decision-making tool. With each meal, you're either creating inflammation or reducing it. You're either feeding disease or fueling vitality. And when you choose food that supports your gut, you're not just improving digestion, you're unlocking energy, clarity, peace, and performance at every level. Your body wants to heal. It knows how to heal, but it needs the right signals. And the most direct, most consistent signal you give it, multiple times every single day, is what you put on your fork. Food is not just sustenance, it's communication. It's the foundation of how your gut functions, how your brain operates, and how your entire system feels. When you start choosing food with intention, you start reclaiming your power. One choice at a time, one meal at a time, you reprogram your health from the inside out. Healing your gut doesn't begin and end with what's on your plate. One of the most overlooked but critical aspects of gut health is your nervous system. You cannot heal a stressed gut in a stressed life. You could be eating the cleanest, most organic, nutrient-rich meals every single day, but if your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight mode, your body won't fully digest, absorb, or utilize that nourishment. Chronic stress shuts down digestion. It reroutes energy away from healing and toward survival. And in a body stuck in survival, the gut becomes inflamed, the microbiome becomes imbalanced, and the immune system becomes hyperreactive. This is why stress is not just a mental experience. Full body event. The modern world constantly demands our attention. We're running from task to task, drowning in notifications, juggling responsibilities, and often living in a state of low-grade anxiety that we've come to normalize. But when your nervous system is always activated, your body is flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are useful in short bursts, but when they're constantly elevated, they wreak havoc on your gut lining. They reduce stomach acid production, slow down motility, impair nutrient absorption, and even suppress the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. Over time, this leads to symptoms like bloating, constipation, food sensitivities, and even leaky gut. Stress doesn't always look like panic or chaos. Though sometimes it's hidden in overworking, perfectionism, people-pleasing, or never feeling like you can slow down. It's internalized and subtle, but the body feels it. The gut feels it. And it cannot heal in that environment. Healing requires safety. It requires stillness. It requires space for the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode, to activate. This is where the body repairs. This is where your gut gets the message that it's okay to function fully, to detox, to absorb, to regenerate. This is why practices like deep breathing, meditation, nature walks, yoga, or simply sitting in silence aren't luxuries. They're medicine. They aren't just good for your mind, they're essential for your gut. When you slow your breathing, you slow your heartbeat. When you slow your heartbeat, you calm your nervous system. When your nervous system calms down, blood returns to the digestive organs, inflammation lowers, and the body begins to do what it was designed to do: heal. Many people don't realize that the vagus nerve, one of the longest nerves in the body, connects the brain and the gut. It's a direct communication line between your thoughts and your digestion. When you're anxious, the vagus nerve sends stress signals to the gut. When you're calm, it sends signals of safety. The more you activate this nerve through intentional practices like breath work, cold exposure, humming, singing, or mindfulness, the more resilient your gut becomes. Your nervous system becomes less reactive, your digestion improves, and your body enters a state where it can finally repair. You cannot supplement your way out of chronic stress. You can't fast your way to peace. And you cannot meditate your way out of poor food choices. It all matters. But if you're trying to heal your gut without addressing your nervous system, you're missing a massive piece of the puzzle. The goal is integration, supporting the gut and the nervous system in tandem. Because the gut is not just a physical structure, it's an emotional processor. It feels what you feel. It mirrors the pace and pressure of your life. So if you want to heal your gut, you have to slow down, not just in moments of crisis, but as a lifestyle. You have to give your body what it truly needs: presence, breath, space, and softness. This is how healing begins. Not just in what you do, but in how you live. The gut will respond to the energy you bring to it. And when you choose calm, when you choose rest, when you choose to live in alignment rather than in overdrive, the body gets the message. It is safe to heal. Movement has always been a fundamental part of human life. It's not something we're supposed to squeeze into a hectic schedule or treat as punishment for eating. It's part of how the body stays alive, how it functions properly, how it detoxifies, how it heals. And when it comes to gut health, movement plays a far more critical role than most people realize. The gut is not just a tube that passively digests food. It's a living system of muscles, nerves, and bacteria, all working together in rhythm. And like any system, it depends on activation. It depends on flow. Movement stimulates that flow. It keeps things circulating, eliminates waste, supports digestion, and reduces inflammation. When we move, we literally move digestion forward. The contractions of the abdominal muscles and the stimulation of the core help support peristalsis, the wave-like muscle activity that pushes food and waste through the gut. Without regular movement, that process slows down. That's when people start feeling bloated, constipated, or sluggish after meals. But when you move, especially in natural, consistent ways like walking, stretching, or yoga, you're encouraging your body to stay in rhythm. You're supporting your internal flow in the most organic way possible. But the benefits go beyond mechanics. Movement also helps regulate hormones that impact gut health. Physical activity increases levels of endorphins and decreases cortisol. It shifts the body out of a chronic stress state and into one that's more resilient and balanced. As cortisol levels decrease, the gut begins to relax. The lining becomes less inflamed, the microbiome becomes more stable, and digestion becomes more efficient. You're not just working your muscles, you're giving your gut the conditions it needs to function without stress. Another powerful effect of movement is its influence on the lymphatic system, which doesn't have a pump like the heart. It relies on muscle contraction to circulate. And the lymphatic system is essential for removing toxins and supporting immune function. A sluggish lymphatic system means more pressure on the gut, more waste accumulation, and more inflammation. So when you move, especially in ways that engage large muscle groups, you're activating that detox pathway. You're keeping your internal environment cleaner, lighter, and healthier. We often treat exercise like it has to be intense to count. But when it comes to gut healing, it's not about pushing yourself to the limit. In fact, excessive high-intensity training can actually stress the gut, increase cortisol, and lead to more inflammation. The key is balance. Gentle, intentional movement that you can sustain and enjoy. Walking after meals, slow stretching in the morning, breath-based movement like Tai Chi or yoga. All of these nourish the gut without draining your energy. It's not about burning calories. It's about signaling safety to the body. When you move with intention, you tell your nervous system, I'm safe, I'm present, I'm connected. And the gut responds accordingly. Movement also helps with emotional regulation, which is deeply tied to gut function. Our emotions live in the body. They're not just mental experiences. Anxiety, grief, anger, these feelings often manifest in the gut. Think of the phrases a gut wrenching or butterflies in your stomach. That's not poetry, it's biology. When we move, we help emotions move through us. We discharge stress, we release tension. We give the gut a chance to reset. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't need a gym membership or a rigid routine. You need to move in ways that feel good, consistent, and sustainable. You need to treat your body like an ally, not an obstacle. Because healing the gut is not just about what you eat. You live in your body. And the more you move with care, the more your gut will find its natural rhythm. Movement is not as punishment, but as practice. As a daily commitment to keep energy flowing, to support internal harmony, and to remind your gut that you are choosing vitality, not survival, sleep is one of the most powerful and underrated tools for healing the gut. In a world that glorifies productivity, hustle, and burning the candle at both ends, rest is often seen as optional. But your gut doesn't see it that way. To your gut, sleep is non-negotiable. It's the time when repair begins, when inflammation is reduced, when the microbiome rebalances, and when your body does the deep behind-the-scenes work of regeneration. Without consistent, quality sleep, your gut health suffers. And when your gut is out of balance, everything else, from your mood to your energy to your immune system, starts to spiral. During the day, your body is in action mode, breaking down food, responding to stimuli, staying alert. But it's during deep sleep, especially during the slow wave and REM cycles, that your body shifts into healing mode. This is when the gut lining, which is constantly exposed to physical and chemical stress, gets a chance to repair. The intestinal cells regenerate rapidly, but they can't do it well without rest. Chronic sleep deprivation disrupts this regenerative process, leaving the gut lining more vulnerable to damage, leaky gut, and inflammation. Sleep also directly impacts the microbiome, the trillions of bacteria that live in your digestive system. Research shows that poor sleep patterns, including irregular sleep schedules and shortened sleep duration, negatively alter the diversity and composition of the microbiome. This means fewer beneficial bacteria and more harmful strains gaining dominance. A healthy, balanced microbiome plays a key role in digesting food, regulating the immune system, producing neurotransmitters like serotonin, and maintaining the integrity of the gut wall. Without sleep, that delicate ecosystem begins to deteriorate. But the relationship between sleep and gut health isn't one-directional. Just as sleep affects the gut also affects sleep. An imbalanced gut can lead to increased levels of inflammation, poor absorption of essential nutrients like magnesium and B vitamins, and disrupted production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating your sleep-wake cycle. If your gut is inflamed or depleted, your sleep will suffer, creating a vicious cycle. Poor sleep damages the gut, and a damaged gut disrupts sleep. One of the most critical hormones involved in this entire process is cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol naturally rises in the morning to help you wake up and lowers at night to help you sleep. But when you're stressed, overworked, or under-rested, cortisol remains elevated throughout the day and even into the night. High nighttime cortisol levels make it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. They keep the body in a heightened state of alert, preventing the full release of melatonin and disrupting the natural circadian rhythm. And once again, the gut pays the price. To truly heal your gut, sleep must be treated as a sacred ritual, not an afterthought. That means creating a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up at the same time each day to align with your body's internal clock. It means minimizing blue light exposure from screens in the evening, because that artificial light suppresses melatonin and confuses your brain into thinking it's still daytime. It means winding down with calm, intentional routines, reading, stretching, journaling, or meditating to signal to your body that it's safe to relax. It means creating an environment that supports rest, dark, quiet, cool, and free of distractions. True healing is not a 24/7 grind. It's a rhythm, an ebb and flow between effort and recovery, action and stillness, and your gut depends on that rhythm. You can eat all the right foods, take all the best supplements, and practice every wellness habit, but without sleep, the body doesn't have the space to rebuild. Deep, restorative sleep is where the real healing happens. It's where your gut gets to exhale, reset, and restore. If you want to feel better, think clearer, and live stronger, start by protecting your sleep. It is not wasted time. It is the foundation of transformation. We often look for breakthroughs in health as if they arrive in grand gestures, sudden transformations, or major overhauls. But the truth is, healing, especially gut healing, doesn't happen in dramatic, one-time events. It happens in small, consistent decisions made every single day. It happens in the patterns you build, not in the perfection you chase. Too many people give up on healing because they expect instant results. They expect flawless discipline. They think if they mess up once, it's all ruined, but the body doesn't work that way. The gut doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency, and it rewards patience more than it rewards extremes. The truth is, every time you make a choice that supports your body, whether it's a nourishing meal, a slow breath before reacting to stress, an early bedtime, or a 10-minute walk, you're casting a vote for healing. You're telling your system, I care, I'm paying attention, I'm willing to show up. These choices may seem small, even insignificant in the moment, but over time, they form patterns, and those patterns shape your biology. The gut heals through repetition, through signals, through the environment you create again and again, not the one you maintain perfectly for a short burst and then abandon. Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel strong, clear, and aligned. Other days you'll feel like nothing is working. You might experience setbacks, discomfort, or frustration. That's part of the process. But what matters most is that you return. You return to the practices that support you. You don't let one bad meal, one missed workout, or one night of poor sleep derail your entire path. Because healing isn't about never falling off track. It's about how quickly and gently you come back. Consistency builds momentum. Momentum builds resilience. And resilience is what your gut truly needs. The gut is constantly responding to input. It's flexible, adaptive, and always trying to find balance. But it needs you to show up with stability. Not intensity, stability. That means finding rhythms that work for you, not rigid rules, but supportive structure. It means choosing food that supports your gut most of the time, not because you're following a strict plan, but because you've learned to feel the difference. It means drinking water throughout the day, not obsessively, but consistently. Moving your body because it feels good, not because you feel guilty. These simple, steady habits are where healing lives. It's also about how you speak to yourself through the process. Too often, people sabotage their healing by attaching shame to every misstep. They internalize the idea that if they're not perfect, they're failing. But shame is one of the most toxic substances you can feed your nervous system. It creates stress, dysregulation, and inflammation. The exact opposite of what your gut needs. So instead of aiming for flawlessness, aim for kindness, aim for awareness, recognize your patterns with curiosity, not judgment. Notice what throws you off balance and what brings you back. Every person's healing journey is unique. What matters is that you understand your body is always listening, not to what you do once in a while, but to what you do most of the time. And even more than that, to how you do it. Are you eating in a rush or with presence? Are you moving to punish your body or to support it? Are you trying to control your health out of fear, or are you learning to nurture it out of trust? This is the long game, and the long game wins. Progress lives in the patterns you create, not in the extremes you chase. Gut healing doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be patient. It needs you to be present, and it needs you to keep showing up even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because every time you return to yourself, you reinforce the message your gut needs to hear most. I am safe. I am supported. I am healing.